Temper that just a touch, I mean, there's certainly was pleased with a little bit in the, maybe change of approach or attitude or want to and all that stuff. And most importantly, the execution in the second half was certainly better.
What was your message? What was your message in the at halftime after that first half?
Yeah, among other things, I mean, the chief message was we don't have to make the same mistakes we made in the first half. But if we do, we're going to have the same issues we had in the second half. I mean, that's as, I guess, elementary as it actually is. You get punished if you have a gap and you don't take a gap. You get punished. You get punished today, tomorrow, next week. It doesn't matter what the jersey on the other side looks like. So that was the message. Which. Our point to them is that it's actually a pretty good place to be at halftime because that means you're in full control of what takes place past that. But no, obviously, it was disappointed in how we played for the bulk of the night.
How do you fix some of the issues that we saw in the first half with run fits and just getting the gap assignment?
Yeah, coach better. Coach better. I mean, I think we're actually pretty good coaches around here. I think we got a good linebackers coach. I think our safeties coach. I know him. Right, and I think we got a good coordinator. I like the guy. He's got to coach better. The D-line coach, I think he's as good as there is in the country, and on and on and on. So it's one thing if it happens once, and then I think 5 weeks into the season, all of a sudden I wonder who's got the B gap. Well, we don't design the defense that doesn't have someone there, and so we got to do a better job of either teaching it or not recommending that certain things get executed that way. So we got to coach it up.
After the game, Eric Gentry said that he needed a little more energy, be more aggressive. You guys held them, I think, 14 yards in the third quarter. Would you agree with that assessment?
I agree. I mean, it looked that way, felt that way. I mean, it's always easy to say in hindsight. If you don't get the outcomes that you want, then you come up with a magic answer for why you didn't have it. And if we had energy, would we been in our gap? I don't. Maybe there's some truth in that. Certainly, and I'm not discrediting what he's saying. And I think as much as anything, I think he's talking specific to him. That was an emotional game for him. There's no doubt about it. And so he's been a good player for us, and then a guy we're thrilled to have. And I know he wanted to. We all wanted to get that one, but obviously he's got history, so I was thrilled for him that we came out on the right side.
What was like watching that, the first drive for Arizona State in the third quarter when he really made a big impact on the first play?
Yeah, I mean that's a big drive in the game. I mean 21-17, I think, and every drive's big, right? But in that moment, okay, how are we going to come out in the second half? Can we get a stop? And then once you get one stop, can you stack and get another one type of thing? And so that was certainly a critical thing for all of us, but the entirety of the quarter. But it started with one, and so no, it was good to see some energy and some life, and then some guys make some plays, and obviously Eric's one of them.
Did you bring extra pressure in that second half because of the increased energy, or did the extra energy kind of encourage you to maybe take a few more chances?
Yeah, I think some of it is kind of flow of the game. Some of it's having an understanding that run game, pass game. How effective are you in zone coverage? It was disappointing in our zone tonight. We've had talk about tips and stuff like that. We're not talking about it tonight because we didn't get them. And so then you get if something, do you keep beating your head against it, or do you try to find a way to put body on body? And then with that too is if part of the issues in zone coverage is you're not getting the quarterback down the backfield. Okay, well we got to bring somebody else. So like most, we'd like to get pressure with four and have the ability to play some mixed coverages on the back end, and we had some missed opportunities in the backfield. I mean that really was the and as I look at it, just a general statement. I think just missed opportunities across the board. Opportunities whether it's a sack or tackle, whether for a gain or short gain, stuff like that. Just too many misses. And some of them we call them missed layups. You can't miss layups. It's hard enough to make 3-pointers. It's hard to and you can't miss them. And I think in some instances it was.
How would you evaluate just your ability to kind of contain Jones and his running ability?
Yeah, no, I would grade it poorly. I mean, I don't know how the stats shook out, but just extending plays, extending drives. I thought it was either pressure was really, really good and we got them on the ground, or we didn't have any. I think that's how it felt to me in the moment, and I think whether it's points or drives, it would kind of confirm that. And that's one of the messages for the guys. You got to have the highlight play. You got to have the good play. What's the difference between your best and when a team out executes you? They're going to out execute you a couple times. I mean that's what says they don't have the ability to do that. I'm pretty sure he was a 5-star quarterback coming out. high school. Okay, well, to give the guy some credit, absolutely. But on the same token, it can't be one or the other. You know, it can't just be thumbs up or thumbs down. The middle ground's got to be tilted more in our favor, which goes back to the good job, coach, the guys.
After
When it comes down to it, how much of it is scheme and technique, and how much of it is emotion?
Well, I think it's an emotional game. It's a great question, and you know, if you could quantify it, we'd lean completely on one side and ignore the other. But certainly it's both. You know, I think, you know, sometimes when you talk about emotion, you assume it's bad, and sometimes that emotion can take you, you know, to heights that make the execution kind of go south on you. You know, one of the things we talk about is if it distracts you, it diminishes you. So if distractions from a, you know, kind of a lesser end on a motivation scale or energy scale, and that becomes a distraction for you, it makes it harder to execute. It's an issue. It's the same thing if you're. I'm sure there's some guys that they're you know, through the moon in the moment, and that creates some issues. So we you know, got to instill in these guys it's an extension of the work week. We're not going to actually do something on Saturday. We don't actually do it on Tuesday. We're not there yet. You know, we can say it and it sounds good, but we're certainly not there yet.
After Thursday's practice, Lincoln talked about he did almost everything he could to get Solo to leave the program. He gets a sack tonight. What have you seen in his development since the spring?
Yeah, just, you know, work ethic, grinder. He wants to put, you know, his hands and his face and his shoulders on the first thing he can go hit, you know. And I think for Solo in particular, and I don't know his full history here, I don't, and I know he hasn't played a lot of football, you know, is my understanding. And kind of, you know, one of the things we come in here just trying to look at, you know, finding, you know, particular roles for guys. Can you change a checker and maybe save a guy's career, which in the end would save ours. So, I mean, we're trying to get the best guys on the field, but you know, moved in the defensive end spot and kind of, we saw a lot of flashes from him, and I think it's a good fit for him. And I'm glad he's having some success. Had some battles with some injuries in fall camp, where otherwise I think it would have been before week 5 that you kind of mentioned his name more. But no, we'll keep after him, and we need some guys to have impact in the defensive front, and he can be one of them.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.